Daisy Harrington, the quiet, book-loving youngest daughter of the wealthy owner of Harrington and Co., never expected her sheltered life to collapse overnight. Kept mostly out of the public eye, she was known to society as a gentle, ethereal, quiet angel who spent her days reading at home. That image shattered when she was found guilty of theft and assaulting a police officer, sentenced to 12 months in prison. The truth was far crueler. Her reckless, spoiled older sister Anna had stolen an expensive designer handbag during a shopping trip. When police approached, Anna shoved the stolen bag into Daisy's hands and ordered her to run. Then lied to authorities that Daisy alone had committed the crime. Daisy's parents, prioritizing the family's reputation over their younger daughter, pressured her to take the blame. They promised her a better relationship with the family and framed the punishment as a chance to learn from her mistakes. Naive and desperate for approval, Daisy agreed, even as the judge's gavel sealed her fate. What Daisy did not know was that no space remained in the local women's prison. Unwilling to send her to a distant facility, her parents arranged for her to serve her sentence at Bluebird prison, a maximum security men's penitentiary. The revelation hit her like a physical blow during the drive. Friendly guard Dave tried to soften the news, but his gruff colleagues mocked her, warning that the inmates would eat her alive. When the massive spiked metal gates clanged shut behind her, Daisy felt all hope vanish. Governor Jeremy, the prison's head, greeted her with cautious warmth. He assured her that misconduct between inmates would not be tolerated, but made clear she would receive no special treatment. He led her to cell 13, where she would share space with an inmate named Owen. The cell was grimy, cramped, and a world away from the luxury she had always known. Terrified and alone, Daisy huddled on the thin lower bunk until her cellmate returned. Owen, a lanky, nervous young man serving time for hacking into her father's company, was shocked to find a girl in his cell. At first sarcastic and wary, he soon softened enough to warn her about the prison's most feared inmate, Seth, a powerful gang leader known as the Devil, who practically ran the facility from inside its walls. Owen begged her to stay far away, insisting Seth was dangerous and ruthless. The warning echoed in her head the next morning in the crowded canteen, when she got separated from Owen in the throng of inmates. A predatory prisoner named Frank cornered her, groping her and leering with cruel delight. Before Daisy could react, a strong arm wrapped around her waist, and a deep, gravelly voice ordered Frank to leave her alone. It was Seth. Tall, powerfully built, and covered in tattoos, Seth exuded menace and authority. With a single punch, he knocked Frank unconscious, and even the arriving guards seemed reluctant to challenge him. To Daisy's shock, he then turned to her with unexpected gentleness, calling her Angel and guiding her through the lunch line. He cut in front of the other inmates, and no one dared protest. Daisy was confused by the contrast between Seth's fearsome reputation and his quiet kindness toward her. He walked her to the common room, where her face lit up at the sight of a small bookshelf. He chased away other inmates to give her space, and even asked her to read aloud to him. For hours, she sat beside him on a worn couch, losing herself in a story while his arm rested loosely around her shoulders. When Seth left for his own cell later that day, Owen was horrified by how much time she had spent with him. He told Daisy that Seth ran a gang inside and outside the prison, that he commanded loyalty through fear and violence, and that he was serving a life sentence. Still, Daisy could not shake the feeling that there was more to him than the rumors. Their bond deepened rapidly. Seth used his influence to protect her at every turn. When Daisy was assigned to backbreaking work moving bricks without gloves, leaving her hands cut and bruised, Seth confronted the guard in charge. The very next day, Daisy was reassigned to the prison kitchen, where the kind Mrs. Patel let her bake bread. She shaped the dough into little animals, and the unusual treats became a surprise hit among the inmates. Seth also arranged to move her out of Owen's cell, claiming Owen's history with her father put her at risk. To Daisy's shock, her new cell was Seth's own. Though flustered at first, she soon found deep comfort in his constant presence. He brought her softer blankets and a better pillow, had smaller uniforms made to fit her tiny frame, and even cleared out the entire shower room so she could bathe in privacy, singing off-key to mask the sound of the water and ease her nerves. The first crack in their happiness came when Daisy met Maria, the young prison nurse. The woman gushed about Seth's good looks and hinted at a personal connection between them, leaving Daisy stung with jealousy. That night, when Seth noticed her quiet mood, she admitted her insecurity. To her relief, he laughed and confessed that he was completely obsessed with her, that he had eyes for no one else. Daisy returned his feelings, and for the first time since her arrest, she felt truly seen and loved. Weeks passed in a fragile, gentle routine. Daisy baked, read to Seth, and grew bolder in his arms. She still worried about the darker parts of his life, the secret meetings, the bruised knuckles he tried to hide, the way other inmates trembled at his name, but she pushed those fears aside, trusting that he would never hurt her. That trust was tested when two strange inmates confronted her in the common room while Seth was away. They sneered that she was foolish to be with the devil, and dropped the bombshell that Seth was in prison for murdering his own family. Levi and Nate, Seth's closest friends, could not deny the truth of the charge. Reeling, Daisy ran out of the room alone, desperate to hear Seth's side of the story. Before she could reach their cell, she was attacked. The man was an old enemy of Seth's, seeking revenge by hurting the person he cared about most. He slammed her into a brick wall, slapped her hard, and taunted her about her boyfriend's crimes. Daisy bit his hand and fought back, but she was no match for his strength. She was slipping into unconsciousness when guard Dave arrived and pulled the man off her. Bruised and shaken, Daisy returned to her cell to find Seth frantic with guilt. He held her tightly, apologizing over and over for failing to protect her. That night, as she curled into his chest, she asked him the question that had been haunting her: had he really killed his family? In the quiet dark, Seth told her the truth. His father had been a respected gang leader, his mother a kind, strong woman who kept them all grounded. He had grown up with Tyler, a boy his father had taken off the streets and raised like a son. When Seth was young and reckless, his father threatened to pass leadership to Tyler instead. Blinded by ambition and betrayal, Tyler murdered Seth's mother, his 8-year-old brother Sammy, and finally his father. Then framed Seth for the massacre. The police arrived to find Seth covered in blood, holding the gun he had used to shoot Tyler in self-defense. With no witnesses and all evidence stacked against him, he was sentenced to life in prison. He had hidden the truth from her, he said, because he was terrified she would look at him like everyone else did, like a monster. Daisy wiped his tears away and told him what she had known all along: he was not a monster. He was the man who had protected her, who had cared for her when her own family had abandoned her. For the first time in years, Seth let himself break down, held by the girl who had seen the good in him when no one else would. Locked inside the cold walls of Bluebird prison, two innocent souls, one framed by her sister, one framed by his past, found something they had both lost long ago: a reason to keep going, and a love worth fighting for.